All right, welcome to the Charlotte Rink Building Initiative. It is Monday, June 10th, and we have a few updates to share. Bobby, how's it going?
Tremendous. How about you?
Not too bad. We had a good weekend of hockey. We'll get into that a little bit. But we want to kick off with our rink building specific updates. First and foremost, we would like to announce a survey that we blasted out to everybody that is a survey that Matthews and their group is putting out to gauge the interest of their different type of ways to use their parks. And obviously there's a big interest in our group with how we answer and how we handle that survey. So that email went out a couple weeks ago, but we want to refresh that and maybe send out another email or an update, and we'll include the link with the in these show notes for when we post this video. But it was a rather lengthy survey, which I think works against us a little bit. But Bobby, do you want to, without giving the
Yeah.
specifics, just give us the rundown of that survey there that Matthews put out?
Yeah. So ultimately, their goal was to really just start understanding, hey, based on all the different groups that Matthews works with today, what's everybody looking for? And I think, you know, as Josh kind of mentioned, it is a lengthy survey and it goes into a lot of detail. And for that reason, when we sent out the email about filling up the survey, we were pretty descriptive and to the point about, hey, answer this as honestly as possible, but in order to have a unified response, let's pay attention to ABC. So that's kind of the route we took. So if you haven't yet taken it and you want to take it, Josh mentioned the link will be out there. If you want more information on it, reach out to one of us directly, and we can flip over the whole synopsis of, hey, here's kind of how we'd like to answer this.
Yeah, so that's a summary that there's a couple key questions that we would like to see answered in a certain way, just to keep it uniform with like, oh, this is the hockey group. Oh, this is the hockey group. Oh, this is the hockey group, to let them know how united we are and the types of needs that we have. So
Yep.
yeah, what we can provide that more information. We'll put that survey link in the notes here. But yeah, exciting part of the process. There's still, it's going to run to the end of 2024, the way I understand it. So the survey will expire near the end of June, and then they'll accumulate the results through the fall, and they'll get more feedback from key stakeholders, and then they'll present their final plans sometime around the holidays. So that's the timetable that we're looking at, and then start to get a little bit more serious after that.
Yep.
Which our other rink building update, excited to announce that we had our kickoff call with NHL Street this past Friday, and I guess try to give like a minute or less update on why we're doing that. So partnering with Mecklenburg County to run a couple clinics over the summer at their park, and then fall league for our youngest youth division. And half the reason that we're partnering with NHL Street is that because the park area is a basketball court, and there's no barriers or walls or boards or even fence or octagon that will keep the ball in. So part of what NHL Street provides in their packaging is access to these barriers. And then we have a whole host of resources that we'll be tapping into with marketing, and some really cool jerseys that the kids will have. I'm excited about that
Yeah,
too. But
the jerseys are sick.
yeah,
There's a good chance we try to order some adult ones.
hopefully they make them in adult sizes. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I hope
Um,
so.
but yeah, so we're getting really close to announcing those clinic dates. One's going to be in July, one's going to be in August, and then of course fall league for our pony division will be ages 4 to 7 roughly. And we're going to try to sign up as many kids as possible and just have that be a super fun thing that we do. So yeah, just exciting to share. We'll have more details about that in our next call, and the calls after that probably. Anything to share with that, Bobby?
No, I don't think so. I think you covered it. The goal is to really, like, today we're we're kind of landlocked in two different locations, and it's convenient for the people that have always uh, played in the program. So this is kind of a really good way to get out there and be able to show some love to other communities and see if there is interest in places that we might not have thought of before, or that just don't have the convenient way of getting to our facilities that we utilize today. So should be a really good test, if nothing else. Uh, but it's going to help blossom some of the other relationships that we've kind of got on the forefront.
Definitely. And we should mention, or I think we could mention, Clanton Road Park is the area that we're talking about. So it's right off of 77, kind of in between our Valentine and our Huntersville operations. So it might be like the halfway point. So it'll be interesting to see who and what we draw. And we'll work out some logistics things for that fall league, because we know many parents have kids that might span or cross over divisions, being the youngest, and then some of the other older ones that we're not running. We'll continue to run in Huntersville there.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Youth League, shout out. We're getting very close to kicking off Summer League. I think we're still taking registrations. If not, there will be a waiting list that pops up, but we're just days away from new leadership, a new operations team, and potentially some new scheduling with some practices and some clinics mixed into the season schedule. So if you're interested in that, let us know. We'll shout out our two newest CSHL position holders, Megan Turmenne, who was named as the chief. No, not chief, not yet. She is the youth league coordinator. I'll get it right. Youth league coordinator, and Mike Vaughn is the youth clinic coordinator. And I just think we're really poised with how winter/spring league went, with the amount of help and assistance that we have with coaches and people who wanted to get involved. So these two people are maybe the figureheads are at the top, and there's tons of support that will make Summer League go really smoothly, hopefully. So yeah, we're getting excited to kick that off in the next couple of days here.
Yep. Yeah. So there will be registration will stay open through the end of this, through pretty much Thursday, Friday timeframe. Email blast went out this morning as one last reminder to be able to sign up. But ultimately, for the summer season, because we're kicking off a little bit later, it's going to be a little bit more compact of a season. So only really spreading across, I think it was 6 or 7 games. I can't remember exactly. I want to say 6 games plus playoffs, championship, etc. But the cost is also, 2/3 of what it typically is. So that definitely helps, overall. Megan and Mike already hitting the ground running. Megan's been organizing everything kind of on the back end for this season. So I think it'll be good that the season is a little bit slower, because it's going to allow everybody to get their feet wet. And that way, come fall, we've got all the wrinkles ironed out.
Yeah, and we say slower, but we just eclipsed 40 kids, which is pretty darn near close to what we usually do anyway. So we thought we'd kind of slow down the summer a little bit, but it's good to see that much interest still over summer, and then fall is usually one of our bigger ones. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. And without further ado, I want to recap the weekend. We had an amazingly successful NBHL weekend. It's our second and final Charlotte only NBHL weekend in the 2024 season, and so that is in the books. At least from my perspective, operationally, everything went great. Administratively, everything went great, and that's a testament to mostly you, Bobby, with coordinating behind the scenes. We had an announcer, a color commentary person. We had the video being taken. We had Haley and Sarah scorekeeping and keeping track of all the penalties from the weekend. But it was a fun day. It was a hot day. We beat the heat by rescheduling some of the games to the morning, and I just think super successful. And operationally, with us being able to handle and operate NBHL games.
Yeah, I think like you kind of mentioned about the having with the color commentary and stuff like that. And it's just, this isn't a knock on any program, but I think that only having those 2 weekends here where it's only Charlotte teams didn't really allow us to shine as much as we could have. I think that despite that rink not exactly being the most advantageous to competitive play, we put on a hell of a show, for this being our first ever group of games in Charlotte. And I think it's a testament again to all the work that goes on behind it, but also to the willingness of people in this area to help. We have, there's 2 officials that are there, 3 officials the first weekend, 2 this past weekend, that are there that aren't players in the league. They're taking time out of their day to do this. There's people that are working the scorekeeping that are not people that are playing. There's people doing the video, the color commentary, etc. And knowing that we were able to pull all that together for 2 different events here and it being our first time hosting, um, I'm hoping it's noticed because I'd like to host a hell of a lot more than just 2 weekends next year, and host a hell of a lot more than just Charlotte teams. It's great that we don't have to drive twice, but we're also the only ones that have to drive thereafter, with the exception of a couple scattered throughout Virginia and some other places. So yeah, just something to think about as we go into 2025 and what that's going to look like.
Yeah, planting seeds for the future. Who knows? Lots can change between now and then, but just know whoever's watching this that we got some plans to ramp up, and that we can. Yeah, we got some good things going on in Charlotte here. We're doing things the right way that I'm very
Yep,
proud of. So,
exactly.
yeah, I had programming next for deck league, adult deck league, and then we'll give roller a shout out. But do you want any updates, Bobby, with
No, pretty
deck hockey?
yeah, pretty typical summer season. Just 4 teams. Captains are Bill Evans, Caleb Brownlow, Chris Ward, and myself. Just doing one game per team per weekend because it is so hot with some extended rosters, which is still proving to be challenging. I think we've had at least one sub every weekend so far, even though there's only been 2 weekends, but we've had at least one sub, and I know that's going to continue this weekend, as I'm pretty sure my team's going to need one. So yeah, despite it being extended rosters, we're still definitely having to pull some people in. But so far, a lot of parity. There's been at least 2 ties. I want to say there's been 3 ties in just 4 games. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Good seeing some people out there that haven't been out there before. There's a couple guys who would be awesome if they would play more regularly, but they have some commitments that make some days a little bit more difficult.
Mm. And how's the weather? How's the temperature out there, Bobby?
Oh, it's brutal. Um, yeah, starting at 11:30 isn't it's not very fun. I think people are ready to go after that first game. So it's definitely hot out there, and we're doing 12-minute periods. So
Yeah,
it's, I mean, it's longer periods than NBHL, despite, it is a run clock, but it's 12 minutes is a long time to keep going.
yeah,
Especially when the summer season is so much more lax. There's not nearly as many whistles. So it's just a lot of moving parts the entire
yeah.
time.
And we won't have you look at the weather forecast for this coming Saturday. We'll keep that under wraps here.
Oh, it's brutal. It's going to be bad, but I unfortunately will not be there.
Oh, there you go. Roller, our mini season for summer has kicked off. We'll just go the next couple months. I guess the biggest highlight besides that for roller is that there's a Wednesday night pickup at the Morrison YMCA, which is awesome. I haven't been to one yet. I would like to get out there, but I'm hearing good things. There's some good skates, and they're getting goalies out there. So that's been the vision for a long time, to get that going, and it feels good to finally
Yeah.
get that going here. So that's great. And then fall league, I mean, we're not too close, right? In another month, we'll be starting to talk about fall league registration, what that looks like. So
Yeah.
we won't get too ahead of ourselves, but that's next.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at some point here in the next couple of weeks, start getting pretty serious about talking to people about captaincy. I was actually going to start that last week, but then with NBHL coming up this weekend, it slowed things down. But start talking to folks about who wants to be a captain and what that might look like. Because the brand image of CSHL is going to look a lot different for fall than it has in the past.
Yep.
So there's a lot of fun stuff that we're working on to make the league a little bit more official.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear about that. As always, we'll wrap with open board positions. Chief Executive Officer is still vacant. So if interested, or knowing somebody who's interested, send your interest to CSHL at charlottestreethockeyleague.org. As far as I know, I don't think there's any additional open positions. We're always looking for volunteers and help with the youth league and clinics and all that, but I think we're in good shape for that. But if somebody is interested in getting involved, there's always ways we can get you involved. So just let us know if you feel called to
Yep.
do so. I feel like I'm missing something, but nothing else, at least that I had on my agenda to hit today. Bobby, anything else for you?
I don't think so. I guess next NBHL games are what, June 30th?
Yeah, I think we got a couple
June
weeks
30th?
here. Mhm.
Yeah, June 30th. So three more weeks till that. Two more sessions plus playoffs out in Apex. Yeah. Yeah, and
Yep.
it'll be pretty quick. So what, 3 week break, then a 2 week break, then a 2 week break, and season's over.
Yes. Yep. And then we'll just tease out. We have a connection on the books with the Charlotte Checkers, so that could be interesting. Not sure what that would lead to, but we're going to be big and bold with what we'd like to come away with and just see what happens there. So we'll have more on that next time. Probably 2 sessions because we're not meeting for another couple weeks there, but just get it
Yep.
on the radar.
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll keep it short and tight this week. Have a great week, Bobby, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Talk soon.
Peace.